Welcome to the bold analysis. Ladies and gentlemen, when Rigathi Gachagua went to Kisumu and he was received by a host of members of parliament and some politicians that had flew with him to Kisumu, he was really criticized. And I remember Ali Nur Mohammed, a businessman and a former ODM contestant here in Kamkunji, trivialized that move, that how could it be that Rigathi Gachagua was received by the same people that he was with in the plane. So I wanted to check, the photo I seen there is the photo of Rigathi Gachagua being received by that team. And while he went there, he took an issue by the fact that he protested a decision by ODM politicians and members of parliament from the region for boycotting that event he was gracing. And that event was supposed to be attended by the president. So it opened thoughts on what exactly could be. Today, the 24th of September, Rigathi Gachagua, either in his capacity as deputy president or acting on behalf of President William Ruto, attended a burial of the late deputy governor for Baringo, who passed on flight heading to the governor's induction in Mombasa last week. And there was a drama, and Rigathi Gachagua, according to reports that are emerging, was annoyed and was not happy by the fact that there are politicians who were, especially the key allies from RiftValley, that snubbed him and are not the people that welcomed him in that event. So you can go through different photos and videos that has emerged when Rigathi Gachagua arrived in that event. So, of course, there was no photo on how he arrived. He arrived from the flight. Then he took, he was picked by a car. Then they went to the venue of the event. So, if you look at this photo, the photos that has emerged, he was received, the people who lined up to greet him. One was Mike Sonko, not elected anywhere in the last general election. There was Kimani Ngunjiri, who lost in Bahati. There was Kawanjiku, who is a member of parliament on his side. And the area members, and Simon Cheboy, who is the host governor, who welcomed him in his position as the host, as the governor, who had just lost his deputy. And so I took, I was speaking to some few allies who attended that. And the journalists are actually saying that you could see at the time there was those speeches, Susan Kihika was there, the current Bungoma Senator, Bungoma Governor Lusaka, there was Anne Waiguru, there was Jackson Mandago, and a host of other leaders. And so, as it was expected, of course, the person that was supposed to receive, the team that was supposed to receive Rigathi Gachagua was supposed to be the RiftValley team, and maybe Anne Waiguru in her capacity as the new chairperson of the Council of Governors. I can tell you that when Rigathi Gachagua went and arrived in that event, he actually found Jackson Mandago there, was already seated. And these people did not plan to receive, they did not go to receive Rigathi Gachagua. He was received by, according to me, leaders who are not elected. And so this implies to what exactly also happened in Kisumu. Why is Rigathi Gachagua being isolated? And there are many questions that beg. Now that President William Ruto was away, Was Rigathi Gachagua either in any arrangement working on behalf of the president? Did he assume the roles or rather the capacity of the president now that President William Ruto was away? And you could, and I can tell you, even if you listen to the way Rigathi Gachagua was speaking in that event, I think I happened to have listened to a bit of it, you could really wonder. Oscar Sudi was nowhere. And if it will be expected, you'll actually realize that Rigathi Gachagua was supposed, if this was a campaign period, Rigathi Gachagua was really embraced. Why do you think that the power men from RiftValley declined to receive Rigathi Gachagua when he was in that event? This is not new. In Kisumu, the people that received him are the people that he flew with to Kisumu. It's in general public. This is not propaganda. It's in general public. And there are few things that you can see. Guys, I want to state categorically that the decision by William Ruto to leave for US, the foreign trip, for I think nearly like some days, it was informed for him even to take a rest from the high octane politics. Actually, William Ruto was just taking a break. Also, apart from the other engagements, it was also an opportunity to refreshen up and take a break, and that was indeed needed. But someone back home, I can tell you, is executing an isolation scheme on Rigathi Gachagua, not to manage politics like Ruto with Uhuru Kenyatta back 2017. And I wish I'm wrong, but I think I can see here that people are not, just like William Ruto inherited the supporters of President Uhuru Kenyatta in Mount Kenya. And by the way, you can really criticize president and talk about the former president, anything ill about the former president. But one thing you will give him is the president was down to earth and did not mean ill intention, because I can say if President Uhuru Kenyatta did not want William Ruto to make inroads in Mount Kenya, honestly, I think this would have started way back. And the president would also be going there and campaigning the same way he was. After going to church, president would also be making those inroads. But he did not have that business. He was not involved in that business of kicking William Ruto out of the mountain. But being that that happened, I can tell you that William Ruto is a very smart politician. And I can tell you that William Ruto propelled himself. It was the forces that propelled him to president are forces that himself he generated. Whether it was through Chebukati, whether it went through the Chebukati way, the Amartya Kome and the rest, but William Ruto was at control of everything. And from this, I think there are a plan to execute isolation scheme so that Rigathi Gachagua, who in real sense, while there is no kumi yangu kumi yako, I listened to one of his speeches. I think you can listen to that here.
Kwa sababu William Ruto ni mtoto wetu wa Mulima. Sisi tulimpenda bure. Na kumpenda yeye kwa sababu alisaidia Uhuru Kenyatta kuwa rais. Hiyo tunashukuru na sawa. Lakini tulipenda yeye kwa sababu ana maono na mpango wa kubadilisha Kenya. Tulimpenda kwa sababu alituelezea na tukamwamini ya kwamba hapo na mpango ya kuweka pesa mfukoni. Na unajua sisi wale tunapenda pesa kiasi. Hiyo mapenzi yetu kwa William Ruto mnaona pale umetoka.
Now if you listen to that, Rigathi Gachagua is not talking about kumi yangu kumi yako. But as now people head towards 2027, I think he is committed to show the way the mountain has given support to the Rift Valley, and his maybe intention is to inherit, to create a narrative of Kunadeni, to inherit William Ruto's supporters in the Rift as his supporters. At opportune time, he might run the same campaign as what William Ruto did to President Uhuru Kenyatta in the mountain. And there is a plan for him to be isolated. And that's why these allies from Rift Valley, if you are keen and you follow that event, you will realize that they did not in. What could also be happening here is lack of chain of command. That maybe because Brigadier Gachagua is not working on behalf of the president, and I can categorically feel that I think Brigadier Gachagua is not working on behalf of President William Ruto. Brigadier Gachagua was just operating in the office of the deputy president. Even whether William Ruto is away or not, I don't think he is assuming any role. Even the event he attended in Kisumu, he did not attend representing President William Ruto, but he was attending there in his capacity as deputy president. And as one thing you can see is, when he's making his speeches, he's not accrediting, he's not talking about on behalf of President William Ruto. He's actually talking about Rigathi Gachagua, the deputy president. So, there is lack of command chain, and this command chain is why maybe things are not so much organized, that no one is calling shot. And this should be William Ruto's role. That because Rigathi Gachagua is going to attend burial expo, so and so, tupange, tufanye hivi, we want this image. But that command is simply not working, neither at party level or from the office of the president. And that chain of command is lacking because I don't think Rigathi Gachagua, in his capacity, maybe I'm wrong, I don't think Rigathi Gachagua is representing William Ruto in these events, that these other activities they've been doing. Even the maize project, that subsidy, I don't think he's in the office of the president. He's in the office of the Rigathi Gachagua. In my next analysis, I'll tell you why, as the deputy president. But don't underestimate something. The cabinet fever is creating these divisions. There is a fever because people are not, they don't know what do we expect. Maybe the communication has been cut. Everyone, even within William Ruto's circles or within the Rigathi Gachagua circle, there quite be a number that are just receiving rumors and consuming information, second-hand information, just like other people. They don't know who is going to be appointed where, and there is no surety. And so because of this cabinet fever, there is a bit of, who do I align myself with? When I align myself with Rigathi Gachagua, is this the best? When I align myself with so-and-so, is that the best? There is a question of cabinet fever. And ladies and gentlemen, that's my take. If you follow that event, tell us, where do you think Rigathi Gachagua was isolated?